Hello, today for review I've got recently released hybrid model made by company Whizzer. Their name is A-HE03 or Kylin. I suppose I pronounced everything correctly. Whizzer is a pretty well-known manufacturer. They created two really good models, A15 and A15 Pro. Both of them are single dynamic driver and they offering really good sound for their price range. But probably unfortunately Whizzer had a lot of problems with MMCX connectors, and they've decided to discontinue their previous line and they released this new model. It's typical hybrids with single 10mm dynamic driver, if I remember right, and double nose balanced armature. So what we can expect from Whizzer? Of course, nice build, probably good sound, and reasonable price. So price of A-HE03 is $160, and now let's have a closer look to figure out do they worth this price. Box looks really nice. Whizzer really did their job well once again in creating premium package. As you can see, outer wrap, inner wrap with the logo applied here. On the back side there is schema of this in-ear monitors and technical specifications. So the most interesting is 98 dB per milliwatt driver sensitivity, really low distortion, 28 ohms of impedance, 12 Hz, 40 kHz of frequency response. But let's move this aside. Not easy to grab it. Okay. Removing this outer part, and here is IEMs themselves, stylish metallic plate. Here probably they put manual and warranty card, cable, and really nice looking pleather case. Inside there are tips, 3 pair of silicons and 2 pair of foams. As you can see, package is nice, accessory set is also pretty nice. Not many tips are in stock, but anyway it's more than enough. Design of Kylin is really stunning. You know, A15 and A15 Pro were good, but Kylin is a huge step forward, and I can definitely say that they look like some flagship models. They can be easily compared with many flagship models. Case is made from metal, it has really nice ergonomic and smooth shape. I think you can see it on this video. They fit nicely into ears. They have this part is really long, and they have normal spout. They fit into ears nicely, and thanks to this not big size they will fit into almost any ears, and they will provide secure fit with good above average sound isolation. Quality is really great, at least out of the box, and they really used interesting textures. I'm not sure will video show it, but they have radial texture on the face plates, and logo actually is embossed, and it's made of some gold metal. It looks really stylish, you can feel it by your finger. So it's definitely the quality that is worth some flagship status. Spouts are normal, they have protective grill, they have lip. I pay attention at these elements recently, because I've got some cases when tips stayed in my ear without in-ear monitors. So let's put some tips. First one and now second one. Also I really like this grayish metallic color. And here is cable. Probably Whizzer learned their lesson, because now they used almost basic 2-pin connector. They have recessed pins, like in some recent models like SimGot, like KZ and some other models. So any 2-pin connector will fit here, but only this recessed pin, these connectors with recessed pins will fit smoothly and seamlessly. Let me connect second cable. here it is. So cable looks really bright. It has ear hook formed here, no memory wire inside, but it still holds cable really nicely and allows these in-ear monitors avoid microphonic effect. Cable is soft, it's not getting hard when it's cold, it's not tangling easily, it goes way down to splitter, there is chin slider, and after the splitter it goes braided. 4 wires go back down to typical angled jack. So as you can see, design and build quality looks really nice. How they will behave after some time, I don't know yet. I will see it later probably, and I suppose these 2-pin connectors will be more reliable, but I'm pretty sure they will, because 2-pin connectors are usually more reliable than MMCX. And of course about the sound, you know, I expected something like Whizzer A-15 Pro, Hidden, if I remember right it was named, but improved probably somewhere on the mids and trebles in terms of resolution thanks to the balanced armatures. But Whizzer tuned this hybrid model in a totally different way. They've decided to make it slightly V-shaped, but you know, it's so slightly accented lows and treble that they can be probably named as natural IEMs, but at the same time they are not super resolving, they are not dry, they are not bright like many so-called audiophilic models are. So let's put some player on the table. This time it will be Whizzer A-HE03, and let's talk about their sound. So lows are a bit accented on the mid bass, but accent is really light, so it's just enough to add a bit of foundation to the tunes, but not more than that. So they are not bass heavy, they are not for those who like a lot of bass, but at the same time bass here is pretty tight. It's not as fast as in armature models, but it's pretty good for the dynamic driver model, with good texturing, with good control, with good impact, and also it has normal depth. You know, it's not super deep, but depth is pretty normal. It's not the bass for electronic music, it's not the bass for pop music, it's bass for real instruments, for the forte piano, for acoustic bass, for some strings and so on. It's really enjoyable and it's really built solid foundation for the tune. As an example, here I've got Alexis Cole classical jazz song And We Got Fun. So perfect voice of Alexis is accompanied by acoustic bass, and this acoustic bass is pretty well recorded, and this in-ear monitors really perform it with good authority and pretty realistic. Sometimes bass here is lacking a bit of aggression, probably a bit of forwardness, but it's usually useful for electronic music and for pop music, and with acoustic instruments it sounds nicely. The strongest probably part of this IEM that I like the most is the mids. They are balanced really nicely, with great emotions, with good resolution, but not going into this nitpicking, not going into the super detalization. Really balanced emotional mids with good instruments representation, with good body, with full-bodied vocals. I really like them, and with good resolution. And what I also really like here is their coherence. Place where drivers overlap is absolutely unnoticeable. If I didn't read the technical specifications on the box, I thought that it's a single dynamic driver model, so no traces of driver overlap here. Imaginary stage is about average both in width and in depth. It's not the most spacious model probably, but it's not sound also too narrow or too claustrophobic or too intimate. Mids have a bit hint of warmth, and I like this representation. As an example, I will show to you. It's a treble. So example is Dream Theater Act 2 Scene 8.
And it's great ballad by Dream Theater, nicely recorded of course, with good instruments, and with this tune Whizzer also managed to perform really nicely. You know, for more aggressive genres of metal, probably Whizzers won't go because they're not aggressive enough, because they're not highlighting treble. So, and let's go actually and speak about the treble. They have a slight accent on the upper mids and on the lower treble area. It's about up from probably 1 kilohertz or 2 kilohertz up to 4 kilohertz. They have a slight accent, and it adds nice hint of emotions to vocals and a nice amount of sparkle. But actually after that they've got a drop off. From one point of view they've got zero sibilance, but from other point of view sometimes they are lacking, you know, they're lacking crispness, they are lacking they're lacking percussion, they're lacking a bit of aggression with on the treble, and they also got a slight peak on the 10 kilohertz, and after 10 kilohertz they have good treble extension, and they are sounding pretty nicely on the upper treble with good layering, with good overtones. I really like this representation. So to summarize about the sound, probably, you know, I'd say that it's a model for jazz music, for blues, for vocals, for some live instrumental music, for some classical music, and so on. So it's a model for the genres where you need realism, where you need real instruments, and where you will have good quality records. Probably they won't be a good choice for some brutal genres of metal. For example, with Metallica or Iron Maiden, with some not super heavy metal, they are pretty nice, pretty enjoyable. Maybe not the best model, but okay. But with brutal metal they are lacking some aggression. And with pop music they are okay if it's not some really stupid pop music oriented to the low frequencies. And with electronic music I also like it, but probably it's not the best choice anyway. Speaking about comparisons, probably I will name just few models in this price range, actually probably even maybe 1 or 2. I actually have another model that I really like. They cost $150. It's Hi-Fi Boy OS V3. It's a really good hybrid model. They are also natural, but they have a bit deeper bass, probably a bit less resolving mids, and a bit more forward treble. So a bit different tuning. So those are better on mids, and on bass it's about the same level actually, with a bit different representation, and on treble Hi-Fi Boy are better. And also few words about Whizzer A-03. Whizzer A-03 have more forward upper mids and lower treble, so they are sounding more crisp, with a bit more aggression, a bit more forwardness. Some genres it fits, sometimes this representation don't fit. So to summarize everything, really greatly built model, competitive in this price range, targeted for those who need very realistic mids and who don't like aggressive sharp treble. Also they actually benefit from cable swapping. Not all cables will look nice with these connectors, but with properly selected cable, they are. For example, I've tried cable made by SimCode for their in-ear monitors, and they're sounding really nicely. And actually, cable adds more tighter lower frequencies and a bit more depth to the lower frequencies. So if you will get them, I suggest you some third-party cable also. Thank you for attention.